Chapter 11. Your Healthy Marketing Future. As we near the end of this book, I thought it would be helpful to take a step back from the words on the page and to look once more at the big picture of your business. So far in this book, we have explored the similarities between health, fitness and business, broken the standard healthcare pathway down into a simple process, assessment, diagnosis, treatment and recovery, and adapted these to help when thinking about the health of a business. Been involved in an imaginary fall down the stairs, joined me on a couple of 100-kilometre ultramarathons, discovered my sister's London Marathon hydration error, walked the challenging, often painful steps through my son's chemotherapy treatment. I said very clearly at the beginning of this book that it was not intended to be one of those marketing books that tries to force you into following the 7 essential steps to marketing success and untold business riches. This type of book tends to sell well, but often leaves the reader feeling either utterly dejected at their inability to measure up to the standards set out in the book, or feeling completely confused about the real-life application of theoretical ideas. Instead, this book has given you a framework, one that offers strength and structure while also giving flexibility and choice. Healthy marketing is not a series of simplistic steps to work your way through until you arrive at Success Central. It is rather a way of thinking differently about business and marketing with a longer-term perspective. Will this clog or cleanse me? Many years ago, my wife and I attended Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within seminar in London. While I found many parts of it helpful, one phrase in particular has stuck with me ever since. Tony was talking about health, and he suggested that we should start asking ourselves a simple question every time we put something into our mouth. Will this clog or cleanse me? Such a simple, easy to remember question, yet one that is also exceptionally profound. Could you ask yourself the same question before rolling out a new marketing campaign or before developing a new product? Will this clog or cleanse my business? Will it help my business to grow, or could it cause damage and problems in the future? Is this the healthiest option for my business at this time? The value of measuring. We have also looked at the importance of measuring certain numbers in your business. Whether that is on sales per day, cost per lead, cost per sale, number of referrals, refund rates, etc., will be specific to each business. The fact remains that if you want to improve anything, you need to measure it. How else can you know if there is any improvement? By way of example, as somebody with asthma, I have an annual asthma review through my GP surgery. I also have a device to measure my peak flow, so I can keep track of it more regularly. During our son's treatment, he was carefully monitored. Certain measurements like temperature, heart rate and oxygen saturation levels were recorded at various intervals. Blood samples were taken regularly to monitor the levels of platelets, neutrophils and white and red blood cells. Now his treatment is finished, he still gets regular checkups with the oncology team at the hospital. These started as monthly reviews, then every 2 months, and now every 6 months. Soon they will move to 12-month reviews. When he is an adult, he will be reviewed every 5 years. Frequency. While you can improve anything that you measure or track, how often should you review things? Daily? Weekly? Monthly? Annually? Let's turn our attention to an imaginary world-class 100-metre sprinter. How often do you think they would record their training times and compare them to previous times? How closely do you think they monitor their food intake or their hydration? How about the quality of their sleep? If they are a professional athlete, they will measure all these things very closely and very frequently indeed. They can then examine the data to look for patterns, for changes, to see the difference that any changes have made. And, most importantly, they can make adjustments as needed. Remember, the more frequently you monitor something, the more likely you are to be able to improve it. If you review your business goals only once a year, it is unlikely you'll meet them. Increasing the frequency of reviewing your goals increases the likelihood of meeting or even exceeding them. 3 important questions about measuring for you to mull over. What do you need to measure in your business? Who will be responsible for measuring it? When will they measure it? Simple versus complex. Many of us look for the simplest way of doing something. While this isn't always wrong, it can often lead us down the wrong path. For example, we may find ourselves asking, what is the one diet hack that will help me to shed pounds? What is the one tablet I can take to treat my illness? What is the simplest way to get more followers on my social media accounts? How can I double my sales without doing more work? I've used overly exaggerated examples above for clarity. There's something about human nature that causes us to default to simple seeking mode. Yet if we look closely, below the surface of successful companies today, we will see complexity. Not only is complexity a central part of a successful business, it is often welcomed and deliberately sought after. Building a healthy business involves embracing complexity. By way of example, let's briefly look at Amazon. Started originally as an online bookstore, it has been deliberately transformed over the years into a business with extremely complicated and numerous streams of income. Remember the diving board and Parthenon comparison earlier in this book. With its complexity, Amazon has become exceptionally powerful, dominant, and valuable. While smaller competitors try to eat away at its market share, they do so with simple tactics. In a battle between simple and complex, complex will win every time. Going deep. To be a healthy marketer or owner of a healthy business means knowing your business and industry inside out. You must keep your finger on the pulse of your industry, staying ahead of the curve, continually adapting for the future, while also keeping things running smoothly in the present. A good doctor will keep abreast of current and future trends in healthcare. They will read up about new medicines or surgical approaches. They will discuss future trends with their colleagues. They will be aware of healthcare legislation, both current and any currently progressing through the relevant authority. As we close this book, a few questions for you to consider. How well do you know your business? How thoroughly do you know and understand your industry? How well do you know your customers and what motivates them? What changes is your industry facing? How are you planning to adapt your business in the next 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 years? What media is on the increase and conversely, which is on the decrease? What challenges and opportunities will technology create in my business? As you think about these questions, don't immediately go for the simplest answer. Instead, think deeply about them. After all, your competition is unlikely to spend much time thinking about them. Approach them as a student approaches an important exam, with care and focus.